I think if I hear you call me Becky one more time, six-pack, I'm gonna pop your tops. All six of them.
Who are you?
Hello there, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to another review. This is another request for Jamil B. One of three requests actually, for Barbershop 2, Beauty Shop, and Barbershop 3. Now for those interested in requesting any type of reviews, topics, reactions, pretty much any type of video that you like, you just send the request either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. Now, Barbershop 2, after watching it, kind of the feeling I had was what I had with the first Barbershop, where it's okay. Yeah, I didn't think it was a bad film. Once again, it's sort of the day, the time of the life of this barbershop. IQ runs the place. Most of the cast of the first film returns, so you have, I forget the actor's name, but he plays the white boy who pretends to be black. You have Cedric the Entertainer. You have the actor who he plays a character who's from Africa. Michael Ealy comes back, who is an ex-con. Anthony Anderson doesn't come back. He was the guy that was stealing stuff in the first movie. He does come back in the third one though. Sean Patrick Thomas is in the film, but at this point he's quit being a barber. Now he works with the council. A new addition is Queen Latifah, which she has a beauty shop of her own, and you get the idea that her and Ice Cube had a fling back in the day. I thought Queen Latifah was really good. I thought she was one of the best parts of this film, and yeah, I don't mind Queen Latifah as an actress, performer, but she really brought a good sense of energy. I almost wish she was in it more, which she is, and I guess I'm not the only one that felt that way, because then they did a spin-off called Beauty Shop, which starred Queen Latifah, which that'll probably be the next review. And the general gist of the plot is, ultimately, across the street, another barbershop opens. It's called something like Nappy Cuts, much more high profile, much more expensive type of barbershop. Doesn't have the old school neighborhood type feel that Ice Cube shop has. So they're worried about these guys going to run us out of business, or will the neighborhood stick with us? And then you have like little subplots with each of the characters. But like the first one, again, it has, I don't mind films for the most part that have that kind of, you're a fly on the wall watching as throughout this day or two, sometimes 3 days, depending on which the film is, where you're just pretty much hanging out with people. I guess because that in a way is very relatable to all of us, where you're a fly on the wall watching certain events happen, and it's nothing too big or large or over the top to the point that it becomes insanely fantastical I don't know if that made sense. It had a couple moments that made me smirk or chuckle. Some of them from Cedric the Entertainer. Saying crazy stuff like, that DC sniper, he's like the Jackie Robinson of crime. What? Hey, it took planning and math. I mean, that's some crazy white shit. One person is getting their hair cut and his woman comes in and goes, how do you cheat on me anyway with your little toddler penis? Next time you come back, I'm going to get medieval on your ass. I got an axe. I got a box of bullets. But yeah, like I said, Queen Latifah is one of the better parts of the movie. Like when her and Ice Cube talk back and forth. Well, he opted for the Happy Meal instead of getting the super size. And Latifah's telling the other girls about that. Or there's a part during this barbecue where her as Cedric the Entertainer, Cedric the Entertainer, they're spiting back and forth, sniping at each other. And that was, I would say, the best part of the film. Because those two worked very well together. Queen Latifah and Cedric doing these snipes back and forth. And the only way you could please a woman is battery operated. And then Cedric goes, well, you know what? I had a white one. I had a white vibrator. I used to have a black one, but the bitch wouldn't keep her mouth shut. I thought that was rather funny. The way that was said, I didn't expect that. And like I said, Queen Latifah brought a certain energy. She brought a certain attitude that was fun to watch. Kenan Thompson, who's now in Saturday Night Live. He was part of Kenan and Kel. He's in this as a new barber who I think is related to the character of Ice Cube's wife, like a cousin or something. But he's a guy who's fresh out of school, but he doesn't know what the hell he's doing, and ultimately quits to go to the place next door, or across the way, I should say. One issue I had with the film, obviously they knew that Cedric the Entertainer was one of the better parts of the first movie, so I guess in order to put more of him into it, they inject these flashbacks, and to be honest, these flashbacks you didn't really need. Well, I was fine with the opening flashback where he's running from cops, and it shows how he got first involved with the barbershop. It was 4th of July, and he stole some meat, and he was escaping from the cops, and he hid in the barbershop, and the Ice Cube's dad, his dad or his granddad, I forget, pretty much said, hey, I'm going to give you a shot. That was fine. But then it would have these flashbacks of when he met this woman on the subway, and he chased after her, and I did, on one hand, it's a way to develop that character, Cedric the Entertainer, but I didn't really find it that interesting. Didn't find it that funny. I think that could have easily been cut out, and it would just improve the pacing. Because like I said, it didn't really bring a whole lot to the character, and it took away from the momentum when you were inside the shop, and they were kind of hanging out and messing with each other. Because within the shop, there were a couple fun moments. Cedric the Entertainer, he talks about Idi Amin, and someone goes, I thought Idi Amin was dead. Oh no, you can't tell, no Yaphet Kotto looking. So I just thought it was fun that Yaphet Kotto from Alien, The Running Man, Warning Sign, that he got a mention. So it's very rare you hear Yaphet Kotto get referenced, but I thought that was... And if people don't know who Idi Amin is, they might fly past him. If you do know, if you look him up, he does look a little bit like Yaphet Kotto, so I think that's what made the joke even funnier to me. But at the end of the third act, you have this hired councilman who seems like he's in the pocket of the guy next door. I keep saying next door, but it's across the way. It's not Sean Patrick Thomas. He's not really liking what he's seen. And the guy wants to buy Ice Cube off, and Ice Cube's like, nah, that's okay. And there are moments of seriousness, of course. There's a flashback moment. This is another instance of a flashback working with Cedric, showing that during Martin Luther during the time when Martin Luther King passed away, there was all these riots, and someone was trying to throw a Molotov cocktail shop, and Cedric stood up and said, "No, you ain't throwing that here, no." And the guy backed off, and now you get the idea why the I forget, father or grandfather of Ice Cube's here, why he let Cedric have a job for life here. See, that flashback worked, the beginning flashback worked, the other flashback points I didn't think you needed. And that's a good example of showcasing a serious moment, and it works, but it doesn't take away from the tone, the flow of the movie, and doesn't feel like that overly political film, which is one of the reasons I did not like the next Barbershop movie, the next cut. I thought that was way too political. I mean, that felt like more like a sequel to Boys in the Hood than Barbershop. But so I know a lot of people like Barbershop 3. To me, I thought these two were better. And this is from a different director. This is not from Tim Story. This is from the person who did, I think, How Stella Got Her Groove Back, Guess Who, which was the film with Bernie Mac and Ashton Kutcher, came out after this. I still haven't seen it. I've heard of it. It's a more comedic take on Guess Who's Coming to Dinner, where the races are switched. And I guess I didn't realize that what I got into is, for some reason, I thought Tim Story directed all of the Barbershop movies. Not the case. He only did the first one. One thing, another note, this is spoilers, so beware spoilers. Another part of the script I liked, I didn't mind the serious moment, the flashback with Cedric. Also, I liked, because I thought this was a nice take on the usual cliche, where Ice Cube gives his passionate speech about legislation, helping the region, don't sell out to the community. But the legislation does get approved, and they do move forward with this project, which they really didn't follow up in the next one. They went in another direction, but I thought that was kind of clever, that you expect that Ice Cube gives the rousing speech, and then that's gonna, yeah, we won the day, and then they really didn't. But on the flip side, they didn't play off too much as a downer, so it didn't kill its, it's meant to be a comedy. It's just one of those things that it felt a bit more real. So it wasn't so much of a downer, it just felt a bit more real, and that I did appreciate. Again, that to me is handling that better than Barbershop 3 did. That's just my opinion. Music, the only song I remember is the beginning opening credits. The opening credits has the song, "Let's get it started in here, let's get it started." That song. I can't remember the other songs. Not to say they were good or bad. The score, I never remember the scores in these Barbershop films, so I don't know what to say about that. Direction-wise, average. There's really nothing awful or awesome to say about the direction. It just, again, fairly average. So overall, Barbershop 2 was an okay film. It was an alright movie. I think if you like the first one, you'll like the second one. So, not a bad twofer, so to speak. But next up, I will talk about the Queen Latifah film Beauty Shop, which is another request from Jamil B. So thanks for watching. We will see you guys later. Bye-bye.